Hey everybody, it's Haley Hobson, and I want to welcome you to our webinar tonight called Running an Online Business, which is kind of ironic that I'm teaching this webinar tonight when I had problems getting online just now. Oh, things are just so crazy over here when we have bad weather. Anyway, hopefully our power will stay on. We've had like a zillion inches of rain in the last couple of days, and it's supposed to rain all week. It's totally not typical weather for Boulder, Colorado. Anyway, I apologize for being on a minute late. I want to talk to you guys about running an online business, what it entails, and why you might want to take your business, whatever it is, online. And then at the end of the webinar, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about a course that I teach called Social Downline, which helps you builds your business faster than you normally would have because you've taken it online. So we'll talk about that later. And I'm going to help you create a plan and an outline for your success with social media. How does that sound to you guys? All right, so let me introduce myself first. Like I said, my name is Haley Hobson. I'm a holistic health coach, Pilates and yoga teacher, and an entrepreneur. And I have been an entrepreneur basically my entire life. I started off my first career as a lawyer, and I practiced law. I always laugh when I say that. I practiced law for the first 5 years of my professional career. But then I decided to walk away from that and become a Pilates and yoga instructor, which really isn't that entrepreneurial. You would think you're really sort of more in the art form in that profession. But I wanted to run a business, so I set up a yoga studio, Pilates studio. I managed health clubs, and I was really into online marketing, and I was really into social media, and I built my businesses bigger than they probably would have been without it. And then I eventually got involved with a company called doTERRA Essential Oils. And I did a lot of the building, not all of it, but some of the building of my doTERRA business by using the skills that I had taught myself online via social media, via blogging, via my website, etc. And I've really learned how to network globally with people that I don't know, and thereby bring a lot of additional people into my business, which has now been very successful. So I want to give you guys some statistics, and I want to talk to you about how you can build an online business, and then we'll go from there. So what I hear from people a lot of the time is that they hate their job, right? How many of you guys wake up on Monday morning with dread or count off the days until it's Friday? You wake up with that feeling like in the pit of your stomach every morning that you've got to go to work, right? And around the world, people are literally feeling unhappy and they really feel sort of stuck in their jobs. But a lot of people stick it out with fear and concern that there's actually no other option. So here's some statistics. 48% of employees worldwide don't even like their jobs. More than 80% of US workers feel stressed out at the office. Only 30% feel engaged and inspired by their careers. 18% are actively disengaged. That is, they're present at work, but they're hating every single minute of it. And these are stats by CNBC. And what I want to tell you is that when we can actually not wake up Monday morning in dread, because to be honest with you, I don't even know what day of the week it is half the time. I'm like checking my calendar to find out what day it is because I actually love my job and I love the fact that I can work from home or anywhere in the world. And I want to talk to you more about how I can teach you how to do that as well. All right. So not only are the pressures of a traditional 9-to-5 job growing, but people, especially women, are seeking more fulfillment. This work-life balance, as we like to call it, is a very hot topic today, and for very good reason. Going to work every day to pull in a paycheck for a lot of people is seemingly less and less fulfilling. Most women say they become self-employed so that they can be independent, flexible, fulfilled by the work they do, and make a difference. And 20% of women cite family reasons compared to only 4% of men, right? And that makes sense, right? Like the reason I decided that I wanted to build my business online and work more from home was because I had children and I wanted to be able to take them to the bus stop and not have a nanny pick them up at the bus stop and take them to after school activities and hang out and spend more time with them. And to be honest, you know, when they have vacations like summer vacations, spring breaks, days off in the middle of the school year, I wanted to have a flexible job, be more satisfied, and actually be home with them. And even if it meant that they were watching me work from home. So if we're in this culture where moms and even some dads feel like they have to choose between a successful career path and raising a family. What happens, right? People actually feel guilty about it if they feel like they have to choose between family and success. Why not be able to have both? Can you really have it all? Well, what does having it all mean? Does it mean working from anywhere, working when you want, working with who you want, having a flexible schedule, making as much money as you want, having a flexible income, and being able to attend all your kids' schools and family events? That's what I think. I think that that's what it means to have it all, to be honest. I feel like for me, the most important thing in my life is time freedom. Now, a lot of us talk about how financial freedom is what we really need, but like financial freedom is really our ticket to time freedom. And just, to kind of give you guys an inside peek to what my life looks like, what I like to do is, well, first of all, I never set an alarm and I can wake up whenever I want. As long as I wake up by like 7:15, I can get my kid to school. And if I don't, my husband will probably wake up. And if he doesn't, my stepdaughter will probably wake up and wake one of us up. So it's really not a concern in our house, like what time we wake up. I know the kids will get to school by 8 or 8:30, right? I've never had them ever miss the bus. And then after that, I get to do my own thing. I make a juice, I make a smoothie, I head to the gym, I work out, I might do some errands, have some calls with my team members on my way to or from these activities. And I get home late morning, sometimes actually early afternoon, and then I'm able to sit at my desk and work for a couple hours or walk around my house, put a headset on, walk around with my iPhone, answer my emails, do my laundry if I have it, go to the grocery store, be home, be actually home. And then I'm home when I get to pick up my daughter from school. Like I said, today I picked her up from gymnastics at 4:00, and then be home and make them dinner. And if I have to get back online and do a little business in the evening, I'm okay with that, to have the flexible schedule that I have. So then what are we doing in the next couple of weeks? Well, next weekend I'm going to Seattle. In a couple of weeks, I'm going to Scotland and Ireland for 2 weeks. In July, I'm going to Costa Rica for 2 weeks. In August, I'm going to California for a week. In September, I'm going to Salt Lake City for a week. In October, I'm going to Australia for 2.5 weeks. In November, I'll probably go to the Caribbean with my family for Thanksgiving. And on Christmas, we'll probably go home to my husband's and then maybe head off to Mexico after. Having all the time freedom in the world is so important to me because I love to be able to do what I want, wake up when I want, go to bed when I want, and travel when I want. So for me, having this type of online business is actually imperative. Now, these days, all it really takes, honestly, to start a professional business is a computer and an internet connection. Entirely new business models have sprung up in this internet age. The internet has literally changed the way that we make money. And it's becoming increasingly common to earn income online. Some people are looking to just make a few extra dollars, and others want to create enough money to literally quit their full-time jobs. Just last week, the Today Show did a story on women entrepreneurs, and according to the Census Bureau, 1,300 women start a business every day. Is that shocking? That's 2 times the number from just a year ago. Some of these businesses are your classic storefronts, but increasingly, women are turning to their computers to start their own businesses. And there are tons of myths out there about what it takes to start a business online and the success that you can achieve. I've been running my business online now for about 3 years. And let me tell you, it's not as easy as these spammy ads that I'm showing on the slide make it seem, right? You don't just earn up to $5,400 per month and get started. You don't just make $7,000 a month by joining something. It's not as easy as that. Building an online business actually takes a lot of skill. It takes a lot of time. There is business models that you have to grasp, and you may have to make an investment, right? So like I had to learn how to recreate a business model. I needed to get the necessary tools to start an online business, because I said all you need is a computer, but there are other tools that you're going to need, other software tools. If you want to do a webinar like this right now, right? I actually have a microphone that I'm speaking into, and I have internet in my house. So hopefully it doesn't go out. And I have a big screen so I can see both screens on my computer right here. And I've got headphones, and there's a lot of different things like that. A webinar, a support system. You also have to have necessary skills that are really imperative in any business. And it is going to take more money to start an online business than it might take in other businesses, because you've got to get things going online, and you do need some time. There's going to be an investment. So before you take the plunge and start your business online, I want you to consider these things, and don't quit your day job just yet, okay? I'm not trying to say to you, don't do an online business. I'm actually here to actually promote how awesome an online business can be, or taking part of your business online. But it's one of the most common errors I see that new business owners take, is just quitting like that to start something new. Unless you have a year's worth of living expenses saved up, I'm not saying to quit your day job yet. You might be doing little action steps in the right direction so that you can quit your day job. But remember that you want to be heading in the right direction, setting those goals. Maybe you even need to use your day job as contacts in the beginning from your business. So not knowing for sure that you can pay your mortgage and feed your kids from your new business will create an excessive amount of stress. And I've seen a lot of people jump really fast or too fast and give up because they can't handle the stress of creating income right away. So what I'm saying is don't quit right yet, but start to create goals for yourself so that you can put little action steps into a plan that will head you in the right direction to start launching your online business or taking your business online. And then once you've got it set up and you see revenue starting to come in, then you can make that decision. All right. So there are so many different ways of building an online business. Each has a different set of pros and cons and requires a different set of skills. Now, I am by no means an expert in all of these, but I want to give you a rundown of what an online business could look like so that you can start investigating it on your own. Now, we do have a retail model, a blogging model, an affiliate model, a service professional model, and a network marketing model. And I'm actually going to go through all of these for you. A retail model would be where if you were created a website selling a physical product. You either design and manufacture the product yourself, or you resell it like you resell another company's products. Now, having an online business like this could be less expensive than having a retail store, because you don't have to pay for the lease of the store, correct? So actually, it could be a lot less expensive. This is one model. Here are some examples of retail models where you can get started selling with very little startup costs. Etsy. It's a marketplace where people around the world connect, both online and offline, to make, sell, and buy unique goods. Etsy is a great starting place for handcraft goods. You find everything from soap to custom designed wedding dresses. All you need to get started are your products and literally a PayPal account. Etsy takes a small commission off your sales, so the startup costs are minimal. Teespring is another one of them. Teespring is the 100% free way to sell high quality t-shirts. You just design your t-shirt, set a price, add a goal, and start selling. And you can collect enough pre-orders and they'll print and ship directly to your buyers, and you keep the product. Teespring lets you design and sell all the shirts online without carrying any inventory. There's literally no startup costs. All you need is a good design to get started. And the custom design t-shirt trend is really strong. There's a lot of press and news stories about people making hundreds of thousands of dollars with t-shirt companies. Teespring is just one of them. Cafe Press is another. It's like an online retailer of stock and user customized on-demand product. Like Teespring, Cafe Press actually lets you design and sell products without investing in stock and inventory. Some people actually use Cafe Press to put their logo on mugs for companies, but a thriving marketplace of everyday goods like t-shirts, mugs, tote bags with clever designs have popped up with Cafe Press and other sites like it. If you're creative, designing products with a service like Cafe Press or Teespring can be really satisfying and very profitable. Here's the pros. Number one, it's a creative outlet, and there's lots of support services in the retail model. The cons are, like I said before, the startup costs can be heavy and the competition can be really fierce. To be successful, you need a really good design and a very strong fan base and lots of traffic. Okay, let's talk about the blogging model for a second. Successful bloggers are very passionate about a single topic. They gain a loyal fan base because of people who are interested in that topic and then offer those fan products, goods, services, and make a commission off of those sales, right? They've got this loyal fan base, and then they offer those fans either products, goods, or services, and they make a commission off of the sales. They also generate ad revenue. Some bloggers have corporate partnerships and are literally paid to promote products. Not all. Basically, you create a website on a specific topic with articles that appeal to an audience that are interested in that topic. So your blog could be your website where you are just writing articles, short articles that appeal to a specific audience. And if your blog takes off, then you might have people come and ask you if you'd like to advertise for them, and they might pay you. Or you might even be approached by, you might even want to use an affiliate model or even a network marketing model to complement your blog. Creating $1 million blog is the holy grail of the internet. It seems like everyone has a blog these days. And to be honest, very few make it big. Now, I'm not saying this to discourage you, but so that you'll have a realistic approach about what it takes to be a successful blogger. A good topic is just not enough these days. You need a huge following, top-notch follow-up systems, and a well thought out plan to convert that traffic to paying customers. If you're simply posting an awesome blog up on your site, that is going to pay you nothing unless somehow you are converting those people who are reading your blog into some type of paying customer, and you need to have a massive, well played out follow-up system for that. Okay, so how do bloggers make money? Well, it can actually seem like a mystery to some people. Most successful bloggers make money in 3 different ways. Either, like I mentioned before, they have ads on their website and get paid if someone clicks an ad or purchases a product. And to be honest, they might not get paid that much, right? If you're getting paid a few cents on the dollar for each ad, you've got to have thousands of people clicking through those ads, right? Some bloggers use this affiliate marketing model where they actually grow an engaged fan base and then they offer them products created by somebody else. Like, for example, let's say I'm a fitness blogger. I might have an affiliate relationship with Fitbit and talk about how to use Fitbit to get in shape. On my blog, I'll give you a link to go check out the Fitbit website. And if you purchase Fitbit, I'll actually get a commission on that sale. Affiliate marketing is almost its own business model these days, and I'll talk about that in a second. And then the third is some bloggers work with corporations to develop and write content for that company. Just like a race car or an athlete can get sponsorship deals, the same goes for bloggers. These are really coveted relationships which usually develop when a blogger becomes a huge advocate for a certain or particular company. Now, the pros of being a professional blogger are that you have complete control over your content. You can work from anywhere. The cons is that you must create a ton of content, and you really do have to be social media savvy and get all of those follow-up systems in place. Being a professional blogger is actually hard work. Most professional bloggers post a brand new blog every day or sometimes several times a day and create active social media channels. Most professional bloggers will work about 8 to 10 hours a day creating content. And not just the blogs themselves, but social media content to engage with their audience and promote their content on social media. It can take a very long time to build up enough traffic that ad sales actually generate any money at all. But on the plus side, all it takes to be successful is passion and hard work. All you need is lots of niche content. You have to have a very strong fan base again and lots of traffic. There are a ton of resources out there for bloggers and a lot of blogging conferences actually to help you gain the skills that you need to be successful. Now, let's talk about the affiliate model for a second. This is really similar to the blogging model. You build yourself out as an authority to a niche market, and you offer other companies services for commission. Okay? All the same pros and cons of blogging apply to affiliate marketing models. You become really well known in a particular topic area. You have a loyal fan base and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of traffic coming to your site. Then you partner with another successful company to offer their products for a commission. For example, speaking of social media, I am going to be offering my social downline course, which is going to launch on June 23rd. We'll actually open up the sales card on June 1st. And we actually have affiliates. Anybody who's taken the course before can become an affiliate. And I offer an affiliate commission for my program. So if you've taken the course before, you can become an affiliate and make some nice money for recommending the course. B School is another one. I've taken B School a couple years ago, and I'm an affiliate for B School, Marie Forleo's B School. It's a wonderful business building course, very different than Social Downline. And I could, to be honest with you, because I do very well with my content and my blogs and my clicks on my site, I could actually probably, if I wanted to, not have any other salary or living and just be an affiliate for B School and make more money than the average person would annually simply from affiliate sales. Do I want to do that? No, because I love what I do, but it doesn't hurt to have that extra money coming into your pocketbook by being an affiliate for somebody else's product or services that you have a passion for. Now, the affiliate model, what are the pros? You have complete control over the content, again, and you can work from anywhere, right? If I'm promoting somebody's course or you're promoting mine, you can be posting, sharing, blogging from anywhere in the world, and you have total control over what you want to write, as long as it's in alignment, obviously, with the program or the product that you're promoting. The cons are that you must create a lot of content unless it's given to you, like we're actually personally giving our social downline affiliates content, and it must be a trusted resource. To be successful, tell me if this sounds familiar, you need lots of niche content, you need a strong fan base, and you need lots of traffic. The key with affiliate marketing is trust. Since you are recommending other people's product, you have to trust the companies. And guess what? Your audience has to trust you and your recommendations. All right, let's talk about the service professional model for a second, building a service professional model online. You basically use your skills and your passion to offer service to other people. Now, this isn't necessarily an online business, but we're actually using online services to enhance the business, right? Many people step away from a corporate career to go out on their own, to use their training to start a business or to develop a new passion into a marketable skill. Like for me, for instance, I actually left my law school career, my law career, to become a health coach. Now, to become more marketable as a health coach, I actually went online and developed a website for myself and started getting myself out there on social media and writing blogs and writing newsletters to enhance my visibility online. The coaching and consulting industry is actually booming right now, and many people are turning to online sources to find their customers, and the customers are actually turning to online sources to find online services to find the actual services that they're looking for. So this isn't actually, like I said, it's not exactly an online business, but most service professionals use online marketing tools now to find customers and sell services. And I think, to be honest, this is probably for the majority of you guys. You might be in a business already. You might be thinking about starting a business and you want to figure out, how do I use online and marketing tools to find new customers and to sell my products or my services, right? Some examples of this could be copywriting, web design, marketing, consulting, health coaching, business coaching, fashion consulting, or even a specific product that you're trying to sell. Now, the pros of a service professional model are: you work with who you want to. You also do the work you love. The cons is that the education that you received in order to become that professional can be expensive. And it's also a heavy time investment becoming an expert, like it is with any industry, right? I think they say that it takes like 7.5 years to become an expert in any profession, that amount of hours. So to be successful, you need solid skills in your area. You also need a solid grasp of marketing. And like everything else we've discussed, you need a strong fan base and lots of traffic. Sound familiar? Now, the last model is the network marketing model, which is actually a model that I'm in now. This is sometimes called direct sales. And with this business model, all the product, all the marketing tools, and all the business development strategies have actually been created for you, which is awesome. There are many different companies to choose from in the direct sales space, each with a different philosophy and a different business plan. You go with a product and a company that you believe in and that you have a passion for. And although this isn't exactly a classic online business, here again, you can really expand what's possible for your business growth using online marketing techniques. Now, I want to give you a really cool statistics. You probably see it on the screen already. 82% of women in the United States who make $100,000 or more a year did it through direct sales. So this is actually a very proven, successful model of how to build a business. And when you're looking at these online resources, you can expand your reach ever so more. The pros of a network marketing model are, like I said before, minimal startup costs. And the training and development is actually included, which is bonus. The cons are that you really do have to be in this business for the long haul because it doesn't happen overnight. This is the kind of business that some people don't see that 6-figure salary for several years. However, that's residual income once it comes in, meaning you're making it month after month after month once you develop your business. So another con is you do have some stigma to overcome because in the past, this network marketing model has had a bad rap. Now, to be successful, you need good people skills, good sales and leadership skills, and you need a very strong fan base and lots of traffic, again, if you want to build it online. Now, let me talk for a second about why this network marketing model has gotten a bad rap. I think it's because people have been not so great about selling and recruiting in the past. People can come off really pushy, salesy, aggressive. But if you find the right company and the right team of people to work with, network marketing can actually be one of the best business decisions you can make. Like I said, the startup costs are minimal, and you'll get all of the training you need to be successful right from the company itself. It's actually the closest thing you'll find to like a business in a box. You can sign up and get started making money the very first day, but I advise you to do your research. Compensation plans for different companies vary greatly. You'll really have to understand how you'll make money with that company and actually make good money. Don't listen to anybody promising you anything, okay? You want to be involved with somebody who's been successful or has friends that have been successful and can show you a proven track record. You want to make sure you're working with a team of people that you can trust and that your team leaders, or we call it upline in network marketing, will provide you with all of the mentoring along the way. So you'll want to make sure you're on a good team. Additionally, please read the contract before you start. All direct sales and network marketing companies have rules and procedures and how you can and cannot market and sell their products. Some companies are very restrictive when it comes to online marketing, so you need to know that from the start if you want to build online. Okay? So you guys may be seeing a trend here. What we've talked about in every type of model is this strong fan base and needing lots of traffic if you're going to take the model online, right? What you need to be successful with a business online, regardless of your business model, is a strong fan base and lots of traffic. Just like if you had a brick and mortar retail store, you need people to physically come into your store so that you can sell them a product or a service. Online, you need the traffic and a strong fan base that wants to work with you. So when I started out as a health coach and I was selling essential oils, I knew that I had to give people a reason to follow me and be interested in what I was doing. I started talking about yoga, and I started talking about Pilates, and I started talking about raw food. And I blogged several times a week and spent hours building up my fan base, my Facebook fan base. I published blogs on popular sites along the way, like Mind Body Green, Elephant Journal, Positively Positive. Then I started doing webinars and asking people to join my email list. Then I started developing online courses. None of this would be possible if I didn't have fans who were interested in my content and in what I had to offer. None of this would have been possible. So let me give you another way to look at this, okay? Let's look at the sales funnel, the lead funnel. You can't talk to a sales or marketing person without hearing them talk about a sales funnel. The concept is actually pretty simple. You cast a wide net and gather leads on people who might be interested in your product or service. You work with them further to determine who your prospects are. Prospects are people who might be ready to buy your product now or anytime in the future. And the future could be like a year from now or 2 years from now. They're just prospects. Customers are the people who are actually buying your product. So think about all of the people who go into the mall. All of them are your leads. Now, a portion of them might walk into your shop. Those are your prospects. Some of them actually purchase and they become your customers. With an online business, it really works exactly the same way. Okay? In an online business model, your leads are the people who visit your website. Your prospects could be people who sign up for a newsletter or register for a webinar. Your customers are the people who click to buy. Let me give you an example. All of you somehow found out about this webinar tonight. You guys were the people who either visited my website or my Facebook page or some type of social media that I had out there, and you are leads. If you signed up for the webinar, which you did because here you are, you then become a prospect if I'm selling you something. And then if I'm going to offer something to you at the end of the webinar, you could become a customer if you click to register or pay. Does that make sense? Really breaks it down. Okay? In an online business model, your leads are the people who visit your website, like I said. The prospects are the people who sign up for your newsletter or the webinar, which we just talked about, and the customers are the people who click, okay? Now, before we even talk about traffic, you have to have a place for that traffic to go to. And once you have the traffic there, you need to engage people. This, for most people, means having a content-rich blog and then many different ways to interact. Remember I said before that you can't just have a blog and expect to make money? You also can't really have a static website anymore. You need to be constantly adding value and interesting information to your website so that you are actually giving people a way to stay in contact with you, right? If you have that content-rich website, it's going to give people information of what they want. Then there's got to be some type of funnel that brings them into a place where they can then become the prospect, and then a follow-up system to keep them engaged so that then they become the customer, right? So there's you, then you're reaching out to your community through your content that you're sharing, you're reaching people through your social networking, you're on social media, and you're driving new customers, prospects, and customers into your business. I hope that makes sense, all right? Now let's talk for a second about organic traffic versus paid traffic. Organic traffic is traffic that comes into your website through social media or a search engine traffic. Paid traffic is like an ad that you use on some type of platform like Facebook or a Google AdWord, right? Organic traffic is the graph that we already looked at before. It's powerful, but it's very hard to create. Now, I found this image itself online, and it's a pretty good representation of what creating an organic traffic system looks like. You have to use various forms of media to get people back to your website where then they can get into your sales funnel, where you can then follow up with them so that they can then buy your product. To win with organic traffic, you have to cast a very wide net and bring everyone back into the same place. So I'm going to give you an example of a Facebook image that I created this past week. You can actually look at it on my page. It was like 2 days ago. Created this image called Sand in Your Toes Blend. It's an essential oil blend, and I posted it on Pinterest and Facebook. So the one on Pinterest is on the left, the one on Facebook is on the right. And I'll actually rotate this content in and out of social feeds to give people a way to interact with my brand, learn more about me, my essential oils, and then find their way back to my website. What I'm doing is I'm creating this loop of information that constantly has people coming back to me and my content. Now, this one actually did its job. It's only been out for a couple of days, and so far it's actually reached, as of earlier this morning, 17,256 people just on Facebook, by the way. It's also had 200 shares on Facebook. It's also had 223 people like it and a bunch of comments also. So this was a really good example of really good organic traffic, creating something that became popular yesterday. I was actually yesterday at 11:39 a.m. So you can find it. You won't have to go far. If you go to Haley Hobson Health Coach, you'll be able to see it. And it was a really good example of good organic traffic. All right, so tips of organic traffic. 1, you've got to be interesting, right? That blend was obviously interesting to some people. I've got a lot of people following me that are interested in essential oils and a holistic lifestyle. 2, choose the platforms where your audience is active. Okay, I know my audience is really highly active on Facebook and Pinterest right now. Number 3, use really good visuals. Also, be very consistent and don't spread yourself too thin. All right. As far as being interesting, there's just so much competition out there that you've got to make a way for yourself to stand out. And again, you also want to think about where your audience is. And here's what I mean by that. Like, let's say you're selling golf balls and you keep hearing in the media that Snapchat and Instagram are the new social media platforms. You have to look at that audience and see if it's active there and see if that makes sense to you. If Snapchat is popular with teenagers and Instagram's audience is mostly female, and if you're marketing a product or service like golf balls to mostly men in their 40s, well, does it really make sense for you to develop content on a platform where your audience isn't going to be spending any time? So Amy is my social media director, and she's actually the co-creator with me in my social downline course. So you'll get to hear from her a lot if you guys decide to take the course or if you're taking it again. And she's really big on creating social media images. She likes to say that people like to look at shiny things. Creating great social media images is increasingly vital. Pinterest and Instagram are both all about images. A social media image is more likely to be shared than a line of text. More likely. I'm not saying not likely. I'm saying more likely. I mean, sometimes we post some really great text and they get a zillion shares, but usually people like visuals. Now, I recommend using a free image software like Canva or PicMonkey to help you create your good graphics. The key to organic traffic is being consistent. You really want to make sure that your audience is seeing something from you at least every day. And I would do it several times a day. And again, Amy recommends that you post at least twice a day and probably not more than 5 times a day. She likes to say that it doesn't really matter what the consistency looks like, so long as it's consistent. Now, my last tip is to not spread yourself too thin. It's okay to limit your participation on social media to just 1 or 2 sites. But if you try to do it all, Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, you're probably not going to do them all very well. For me, I was literally only on Facebook for the first 2 years. And now I've branched out with the help of my team to be on Twitter and Pinterest this year. And I'm starting to do a lot more videos on YouTube. But again, I'm just sticking with YouTube. I'm not creating a lot of stuff on Instagram or on Vine videos. I'm picking one platform and trying to get really good at it and then picking another. All right, so here's a secret content tip. Creating lots of great content can be really time consuming. So you want to make the most out of the content that you create. Here's our favorite secret content tip. When you have a Facebook post that says really well, embed that post as a blog post on your website. On the Facebook post, you'll see a down arrow that gives you options. Choose embed post, copy the code onto a blog post. This is a super quick way to get more content done. So Amy actually created a quick tutorial on how to do it for you because she's so awesome. So you can go to www.slideshare.net/how-to-write-a-blog-post-3-minutes. How to write a blog post 3 minutes with all dashes. All right. Really generous. All right, let's talk about paid traffic for a second. Paid traffic is literally just that, right? You're paying for an ad that drives traffic to your website. It can be very effective and it's easy to waste money. I only really recommend that you do paid traffic when you have a way of capturing information so that you can market to those people again. And here's what I mean. If you go to my website, you'll see my freebie section. I have a blend book that I give away from me if you enter your name and your email. Once that happens, you get your ebook, and I get to include you in my newsletter list. This gives me a way to engage with you in the future. If you don't have a way to capture information, you're wasting money that you're spending on ads. Okay, now you'll see that this sexy boost post button on Facebook. You see that on the screen here? I have this example of another post that I put up, and there's a boost post. It makes it very easy to buy traffic to get a specific post seen more. But you have to ask yourself, is this really productive? Are you going to make money just from someone seeing a boosted post on Facebook? This is a post for a blog that I wrote last week. Unless the blog can translate directly into new business for me, I am not going to pay for traffic here. Even if this one only reached 829 people, which for me is not a lot, I am not going to pay for this post to be seen by more people if it can't generate a sale for me. Now, here's a Facebook post that I did for an upcoming webinar. The webinar that you're actually watching right now, to be exact. It might be worth it for me to post this post because you actually have to register for the webinar, allowing me to then capture your information. So this is a post that I might actually boost, right? If I can get people's email addresses, I might think about boosting. And what I've been doing all the last like 24 to 48 hours with my social media director and my marketing director, my online business manager, has been asking them, how many people do we have signed up for the webinar? How many people do we have signed up for the webinar? How many people sign up for the webinar? So that I know if we're low, according to the kind of numbers that I normally get, that we might want to boost the post. So when I reached out to them today and I said, hey, how many people do we have this morning sign up for the webinar? And they said about 700 and something. I knew, but by the time the webinar went live, 1,000 people would be on and more would get it later. And I didn't feel the need to boost it. But you see where I'm going? Like that's like an average attendance webinar for me. So if my webinar attendance had been like 100 by this morning, I would have said, hey guys, let's boost some posts. Maybe people haven't seen it. All right. So this is where you actually have to learn how to actually watch your numbers and your Facebook analytics as well. Now, Facebook ads are complicated. And we're going to talk about these simple paid traffic tips. You're always going to start targeting your audience. You're always going to start with a small budget. And you always want to make sure that you're using the right size image. But they're complicated. And I'm by no means an expert in Facebook ads. But I will share with you what I've learned to create some ads that work. First, you always want to target your audience. Like I said, this ability is available right when you click the Boost Your Post button. You want your ad to show exactly to the people that you think will be interested. The better you target your ad, the better your results are going to be. You also, like I said, want to start with a smaller budget. See what just $5 can do. For me, $5 can actually reach 6,900 to 18,000 people, right? If it works, if you like the results, you can always increase the budget later. And if I had pulled down the $10, the $20, the $50, the $100, it would have increased it to even more people. Also, make sure that you're using a good image. This would be not a good image for an ad as some of the text actually gets cut off. Can you see that? Facebook has a rule that only 20% of the image area can actually be text, by the way. So stick to that because you don't want your ad rejected from Facebook because the image doesn't work. Now, let's talk about the online versus the real world of business. It's just the reality of how business works today that you have to have your business online. You just have to have part of it online. It doesn't mean that your business has to exist only in your computer. You still have to be a great business owner. You still have to deal with people. You'll still have to be good at sales. You'll still have to figure out how to get it all done and manage your time. I have a really successful online business, but that actually doesn't mean that I stop my real world activities. I travel the country to visit my customers, to visit my teammates, to educate others. I teach classes globally, networking constantly locally, so that I'm always generating leads both online and offline to grow my business. Your online and your offline activities need to complement and enhance each other, okay? I am definitely not building a strictly online business. What I like to say is that I am enhancing my presence online, thereby developing my customer base, okay? All right, so I want to quickly wrap up with some of the things that people really don't think about when they're starting an online business. And I know it goes without saying that you need a computer and internet to have an online business. I also want you to consider whether you have the right hardware. If your computer is a few years old or if it's slow, you might want to consider upgrading as soon as you can. And if you're anything like me, it will stress you out waiting for pages to upload or programs to open. It's the same with your internet provider. If your internet goes down, it can actually cost you a lot of money. So shop around and make sure that you have the best local provider. Find the best deal. Also, you need to consider your office setup. Yes, working from home means you can work in your bed and in your PJs, but trust me, sitting in bed and all day with a laptop is awful for your back. So this is a business, right? It's not a hobby. So you just want to set up your office right? You want to have, if you're going to be sitting in front of a computer for part of your day or all day, you want to have a decent desk and a decent chair, even one of those really cool standing desks these days. You don't have to have a separate office to work from at home. But I do find that it's more productive if you're not working in the dining room or if you're not working by the TV. And if you can create some kind of like space, some quiet space for yourself, even if it's in a closet, then I suggest you do that. I've also put a headset on this list. I'm on the phone a lot, and with a really good headset, you just get better sound, and that's really important also. All right. So let's talk about the software that you're going to need to be successful online. There's a lot that you want to invest in. Actually, not a lot, but some that you want to invest in. It can be a huge category is what I meant to say. Every day there seems to be new tools or programs and promises to make your life easier, but these really are the basics that you need to get started. First, you'll need some sort of email marketing program. You'll want to create ways to stay in touch with people, and you can't do that from your personal email. There are federal laws about spam and email communication, so you've got to have a service for that. Some of the most used services are MailChimp, Aweber, Constant Contact, MadMimi, Infusionsoft. Do your research and see what suits your needs. I do recommend that you don't use a free service though. Anything that you get to depend on to make money, you should really have to pay for it so that you get quality customer service when you need it. The same thing basically goes with a CRM or customer relationship manager. You want a way to track and follow up with your contacts. Now, you could use a spreadsheet, that's fine, but there are a ton of specialized tools out there. If you're talking to clients on the phone, you might want an appointment setting service. I use TimeTrade. Some people like Calendly. Also, you'll probably need something like PowerPoint or Keynote if you're going to be doing webinars or presentations like this. And don't forget about some type of booking software. Now, some of the additional tools that you might want to use or skills, I should say, that you're going to need are you're going to have to be good at sales and marketing. And a lot of us have virtually no training in that. So to be successful in your own business, you're either going to have to talk to people and ask them to literally give you money, or you're going to have to be really creating compelling content that does the same thing. So to be successful, you've got to get good at selling and marketing, and that can be uncomfortable for many people. You also have to get good at branding. Branding is all about telling a very unique story about you or your business through the content that you create and how you interact with people online. For me, in my business, I also had to develop leadership development skills. I work with a team of people and I had to get really good at training and supporting them and inspiring them and motivating them. Time management is also a big deal. When you're on your own and you have your own business and you're always connected to that business, you've got to figure out ways of structuring your days so that you can have it all, but not really have to be on all the time. Now, I'm really strict about my evening time and my family time, and I try not to schedule work after a certain time. This is probably one of the biggest hurdles for entrepreneurs, time management. So how much does it really cost to start a business online? Well, I get asked this all the time, and it just really depends, you guys. Here's an example. To build a website, you need to have a domain name, and that can cost you as little as about 10 bucks. But then you have to host it on somebody like GoDaddy. That can be as low as $5 a month. So your hard cost could be as little as about $100 a year. But then you need to have a website. And you can build and design your own website. That's true. But consider this. Let's just say you use WordPress to build your site. And I would guess you'd put in about 20 to 40 hours worth of time to get it running specifically. And if you don't do this professionally, that could be tricky, hard, frustrating. And that's actually 20 hours plus of work that you could be spending on generating income someplace else. That's the trap of free internet, right? Yes, you can do things yourself and save money, but you have to ask yourself, how much time is your time worth? How much is your time worth? So where should you invest? Well, I highly recommend that you spend some money on a website. Now, you can get a website done for anywhere from like $200 to $2,000 plus. Email marketing is another thing that you want to invest in. We talked about that earlier. That's about $20 to $300 a month. Some people like a virtual assistant to help them with their business. That can cost anywhere from $50 a month to $1,000 or $2,000 or more a month. And then you're paying for education or training. It varies. So it's really, I mean, you just really can't say how much it's going to take. I think that, again, you could build a WordPress site for yourself, but I think it's a better investment to pay somebody to do it for you. Time is money, right? And if you're not skilled in WordPress, it can take you hours to fix a very small problem. Again, with the email marketing, you don't want to go free, because then you're not going to get a really great service, and it's going to be really hard once you decide to upgrade and you've got a really big marketing list later. It's going to be hard to transfer those leads, almost impossible. You're going to have to ask for all those people to opt in again. So, maybe a virtual assistant isn't necessary right now. Maybe it will be later, and you obviously have to find somebody that works really well with you. And sometimes it's actually not uncommon to go through a lot of people before you find the right fit. So you want to look for somebody that's really going to grow with you. And even if you're only giving them a few tasks in the beginning, that might be okay. And you can give them more work as you grow. All right, so there's so many different programs also that you can use for your education, for your training, to build skills. You need to start out with some basic business building skills. There are lots of courses that you can take online. And then you want to look at marketing programs, branding programs, maybe a course on sales or social media or SEO or speaking or leadership. As you grow and get more mature in your business, you'll find that you have to master different skills. So let's do a little checklist right here, and then we're going to wrap up. This is my mini checklist on how to get started with your online business. Once you've decided what sort of business you're going to start, spend some time thinking about your brand. How do you want to look online? What do you want to be known for? Who are you going to be online? Then you're going to want to get started on being active on social media. For most people, that's going to be Facebook to start. You've got to create a business page. You've got to start creating content and build a fan base. Then you've got to get your email marketing in place. A monthly or a weekly newsletter will help you capture potential leads and stay in communication with them, because those are going to be people who will eventually do business with you. You might want to develop a free ebook or a giveaway or a virtual course. This should be like next to do after your website on your to-do list. This will really show off your brand and have people come to trust you. It's also the end destination for paid and organic traffic. Then I'd start doing webinars, offering products and courses. Once you have the traffic, you want to keep giving people things to interact with you. And then, of course, you want to keep educating yourself, continue education. Things can change really fast in social media and online marketing, and you really need to stay on top of what's being developed so that you and your business can grow. So I want to make a special announcement, as I always do. Social Downline is my learning how to take your business online and learn how to network online course. And I'd like you to learn more about the Social Downline. We're going to have a kickoff webinar about the Social Downline on June 1st. And then the program will launch June 23rd. It's an 8-week course. And what you're going to get each week are expert teaching webinars on a specific week's topic. You're going to get guest interviews to dive deeper. You're going to get checklists, to-dos, homeworks, a weekly live mastermind session with not only just me, but also Amy, who is my social media expert. You're going to get a private member portal login only for members. And you're also going to be invited to a private Facebook group where only people who are taking the program or have taken the program before are invited for masterminding and networking. And what you're going to be able to learn is how to build a strong online brand that will help you increase your network, how to convert your fans to customers, how to educate and empower your downline to grow and succeed if you're in some type of network marketing company, how to build a business that achieves residual income. Again, this is an 8-week course starting June 23rd. The kickoff webinar will be June 1st. You will receive information about this kickoff webinar via email, since you registered for this webinar, and on my Facebook page and on my newsletter list. So if you just want to be sure, if you're really interested, you can go to HaleyHobson.com and you can opt in, join my email list so that you're in the know. You can go to my Facebook page, make sure that you're following it, HaleyHobson.com Haley Hobson Health Coach, sorry, Facebook.com, Haley Hobson Health Coach. And we're going to kick off with the webinar June 1st. Registration will open that night. We will have, as always, some special freebies for our first few that register, or actually probably our first 100 that register. And registration will end June 15th. There will only be a 2-week period this time where you can register. And we do get about 100 people registering within the first hour of the webinar. So if you're interested in the social downline and you want some of those freebies, you better be on that webinar June 1st and ready to go so that you get to be part of that. All right. Now, if you want to reach me, remember, as always, my website is HaleyHobson.com. Again, this is a link to my Facebook page, Haley Hobson Health Coach, where you can keep an eye on everything and all my programs I'm doing. And all of my live events, both online and offline, are going to be in my email newsletter that comes out on Mondays. So if you want to opt into that, be sure to go to HaleyHobson.com. And if you're interested in following me on Twitter or Pinterest, the links are here too. Twitter.com Haley Hobson or Pinterest.com Haley Hobson 69. Thank you guys so much for being on the webinar tonight. I love talking about building online. I think it's very, very complicated, but it can become easier and easier as you stay tuned and learn more and take it online. I knew nothing about building a business online 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago, nothing. And look where I am today, teaching you guys how to do it successfully. So we hope to see you on June 1st on our webinar to kick off Social Downline, and we hope to see you in the course. Thank you so much. See you online.